Well, that looks kind of familiar. I watched him do that last night all evening, the last 8 games of match play. He was just consistently in the pocket area, just whether or not he could carry the 10-pin more than anything else.
Now, Mike Miller, an interesting contrast here, has been bowling all week with his thumb in the ball, but he's famous for bowling well with the thumb out, and he switched to that for the telecast.
That's remarkable. This could be almost like a secret weapon. I don't think anybody expected this, least of all Mike Miller. I talked to him before we went on the air, and he was very comfortable with how he was rolling the ball throughout the tournament to this point. Now all of a sudden we see him reverting to the style that he won the PBA National Championship with a few years ago.
And was really, when he won that, people thought that he was going to become a dominant player with this shot.
Oh, I definitely did. I really thought that with that type of roll on the ball, with these reactive resin bowling balls, he has a problem with this because he gets actually too much roll. Looks good, doesn't it?
Well, I guess the question would be, Earl, why would he make that kind of change in this environment?
Well, I didn't get a chance to talk to him. He made this switch at the last minute, just before we started the telecast. And my guess is that there is less oil on the back end of the lane now. Earlier on, there was more oil down the lane, and the players had to point the ball basically like Dave Husted is doing to get it up to the pocket, like that. And you'll see most of the players, all 5 of the players, played that exact same shot. They were laying it down out near the first arrow, going up between the first and second arrow to the pocket. Now, all of a sudden, because there's probably more friction on the back, Mike Miller can open up the lane. By that I mean he can go into the oil, throw it out to the dry, and hook it back. And this could be fantastic. He could shoot some big numbers.
Well, he's going against a guy that's going for his 13th straight win.
Somebody made a noise that really bothered him. I hope he didn't get hurt there. That can hurt you. That 16-pound bowling ball and stopping like that. Oh,
that's amazing that he was able to stop at that point in time.
It is. I don't think I could have without making my arm about 6 inches longer.
And there's Michelle with the Corey and Chelsea right there.
Oh my,
well, the concentration just wasn't there, not the same. Gets away and leaves only the 2-pin.
Looks like he got a little more loft on that one. Didn't get out of the ball quite as cleanly as he had the first 2 shots. And, you get the ball farther out on the lane in the air, it's going to go farther down the lane before it creates friction. So he didn't get back to the head pin.
At the 2-pin. No trouble for David Husted.
Spare shooting hasn't been a problem for the players all week. It's just what's been the determining factor of who made the top 5 is who could carry the corner pins more than anything else. And certain pairs outscored others. This side of the house, the higher side, scored higher than the lower end of the house.
Well, during the week, Mike Miller averaged 226. Well, Husted averaged 232.
Look at this. I mean, that shot just was not there yesterday. So there is a different reaction for Mike Miller, and it's a good one. He's very comfortable, as you must realize, rolling the ball this way. He's one of the few players that has this kind of speed control and the ability to continuously release the shot the same way, laying the ball on the wrist. Now, watch how he puts his hand on the ball here. He's got his fingers in, lays the ball in the palm of his hand. His thumb is on the side, lays it on his wrist. Now, watch this. This requires strength. The good free arm swing. Great roll of the wrist to create that great back end and a solid 10-pin.
Is he using a 16-pound ball, or do you know?
I don't know. I really don't know. He was using a 16 earlier when he had the thumb in the ball. Now, whether he is now, these guys, some of these guys carry so much equipment you can't keep up.
I know when he did this before, he didn't use a 16-pound ball.
Didn't need to. It hit too hard.
Right. Yeah.
Spare shooter, excellent spare shooter, Mike Miller.
Well, the players are tuned in. Mike Miller leads by 10 pins after 3.5 frames. Dave Husted will be up in the 4th frame when Earl and I come back. Stay with us.
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
And you can see Dave Husted in his 51st career TV appearance. On the right lane. Right back in the 1-3 pocket. David, who has now turned the ripe old age of 35, Earl. Although, he's made
the good old days.
Made $1,350,000 in his career. One of the PBA millionaires, as you are too.
Well, you know, he's cut back on his schedule drastically. He was 18 years, been 18 years as a Train 1 player. That means he's bowled 2/3 or more of the tournaments every year for the past 18 years, and he's decided he wants to spend more time with his children, with his wife, and with his father in the bowling business up there in Milwaukee, Oregon.
And it appears that left lane just a hair tighter than lane 30.
Yeah, it must be. It's twice in a row he's come up light on that lane, and it's kind of interesting that David, of all the people on this particular shot, I would think it would be more difficult for him than anybody else in the match play finals. And here's another look at that last shot. The ball goes into a roll, but it just doesn't seem to get up through the oil.
And he opens. So his 12-game winning streak in jeopardy right here in the opening match. The Reno Open at the Reno Hilton. Mike Miller with this unusual style. Get a great view of it right here. Laying that thumb out there. Resting that ball on his forearm, it seems like.
You look at him from the side, you see what he does, how the arm is cocked all the way to the top of the swing.
Oh, the solid 9 pin.
Solid 9, solid 10 in the frame previous to that. So he's had 5 great shots, all solid in the pocket.
I'll tell you what, he should be using with that ball delivery, no more than a 13-pound ball or something.
It's amazing, isn't it, how hard the ball can hit. If you can create that much. The thing is, to me, is how much ball speed he creates.
You know, we talked to him earlier about when do you put your thumb in and when do you leave it out?
Well, I think the lane condition definitely dictates to me which shot I'm going to use. I think more predominantly now with the way the bowling balls are going, the bowling balls that I have to use with the asymmetrical cores and as powerful as they are, it's much better for me to use most of the time my thumb in.
But now is not most of the time, right?
No, it isn't. Well, he evidently determined something in his practice that made this the viable solution, because he wasn't striking in practice until toward the end.
Yeah, he was missing the head pin a lot of times. You know, it just seems to me that the lanes are just tighter than they've been all week long.
That could very well be it, but he is definitely getting the back end he wants now, and Dave Husted dug himself a hole.
We've mentioned that David has won 12 matches in a row. I said, does this make it easier or give you more confidence?
Probably the latter. Probably a little more confidence and a little better, easy for me to relax a little bit. I'm just going to try to go out and make good shots, not try to strike, just try to hit the pocket, let the ball do the work, and hopefully be on top tonight.
You know, I talked to him a little bit too, Mike, and he said that execution to him right now is more important than the result. So he knows if he does execute, he's going to get a good result most of the time.
Did you see that shot? It looked, you know, I was thinking after he left at 245 that maybe his adjustment would be just to ease up on the speed of what, and he did. Whack, solid 4-7.
Well, again, the angle that he's coming into the pocket, you know, he's coming right off the edge of the lane near the channel, creating extreme angles, so there's very little deflection. The ball overhits, actually. Just hits too hard.
Well, he trails by 21. Mike Miller coming up in the 7th frame, working on a strike and take a commanding lead. We're going to take a break right now. Stay with us, please. Very confident. He's also 35 years of age right now, so
very, very comparable in size and stature and build, both about 6'1", 6'2", 175, 180 pounds.
Wow, what a reaction he has right there.
There's Mike's wife, Jody Ann Miller.
And it's NHL hockey on ESPN2, Saturday, February 10th at 7:30 Eastern Time. It's the Buffalo Sabres going into Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Fire on ice. Be sure to be with us. For 3 in a row. Oh, another solid 9-pin.
Very easily could be bowling another 300 game. Remember last week, C.K. Moore came right out and first time on television, wins a tournament, bowls 300. The way Mike Miller's going, we might see another one. Wouldn't that be fun?
But the ball just doesn't deflect, Earl.
I know it. He needs to find a way to put his bowling ball on a diet, Mike, so he loses a couple of pounds.
There you go. Puts that thumb right in there and throws the ball just dead straight at the spare. Husted, if he wants to get back in this match, has to strike in the next 2 frames, trailing by 30.
He's really kind of overthrowing the ball now. It seems like maybe you're right. Maybe they're hooking more, or maybe there's less oil. Something down the back has changed for him because this isn't the way he bowled last night. When I watched the match play yesterday afternoon and evening, Dave was basically stroking the ball. Now he's actually overthrowing like he's afraid it's going to hook, and he has to line it right at the pocket.
Well, Dave Husted, who's twice won the Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award, one of the truly really nice guys on the PBA Tour, just doesn't seem to have it tonight. And all these taps that Mike Miller has gotten are not, well, they're somewhat upsetting. They're not disconcerting because he's not behind in the match. There he is. That's what he was like. David would like to say hello to his grandmother, who lives in North Dakota. Her name is Helen Kramer. And then Michelle, his wife's, her grandmother lives in, where is that?
Milton Freewater,
Oregon.
Yeah, there you go. Claire Figner.
All right.
What a nice guy you are, Mike.
Look at that. He almost left a 9-pin on that one.
You watch the ball go through the pin deck area. There's no deflection at all. It's just continuing on right over the 8-pin spot.
None. I'll tell you what, that ball. Oh, I threw a ball that strong only in my dreams. And even then, didn't happen very often.
For you to get that much hook, Mike, the lane would have to be 70 feet long instead of 60.
That's probably true. Yeah. Probably. You know, they used to have a 100-foot lane here in the.
I remember that
in the lobby here at the Reno Open.
They do everything bigger and better in Reno, Nevada, right? Oh, that was in the pocket. That ball looked like it was in the pocket.
Well, what a game he bowled to not get much score. You know, he's going to, the 4-6-10 in the 10th frame, he's going to finish probably with about 215 here.
Well, Dave Husted has a chance to win the match.
That's right, he does. Absolutely.
Let's take a look at that shot. We're going to watch the ball enter the pin area as it hits the head pin. Watch what happens here. Just a little high. Well, maybe it was higher than I expected, but it didn't look that high when it initially hit the head pin.
It's just finishing so hard.
Oh, no deflection again. Dave Husted with 2 and 9. We could have a tie. 3 strikes to win.
Go.
Oh, wouldn't that have been something?
If he'd have got a Brooklyn, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Miller with a great game he bowled survives the opening match, 215. If Husted picks this up and strikes, he'll finish with 196. Has the conversion. So Mike Miller is going to move on to face another David, this time David Arnold. Husted just never could get lined up. The handshake, final score 215.